Hello, everyone. Welcome to Art School Live. I am your host for today, Kari Stober. I am hosting all this week while Eric is in New York City. And today my guest is Jenny Aitken, and I'm really excited for Jenny. I first discovered her on Instagram, and she paints these beautiful paintings with this glorious light in it. So I'm really excited for Jenny. So Jenny, welcome.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Jenny is coming to us from England. Where in England are you from?
I am in the Peak District, which is kind of in the middle, maybe 2 hours from London by train. And it's dark and wet and cold here today.
Well,
but I'm happy.
You're going to be bringing us some light today, aren't you?
I am. This is probably why I'm so obsessed with painting the sun.
Because you live in England. My husband loves that kind of weather.
Yeah, me too. I like Scotland, and it's even worse up there, and I just love it. I love that desperate kind of landscape, Yeah, desolation. Love it.
So what are you going to be sharing with us today?
So today I am talking about the illusion of light in paint. Anybody who knows me will probably have seen I do a lot of sparkly water and bright lights, and it kind of almost makes you squint when you look at it.
Yes,
and I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with that kind of that paint can do that. So especially outside, actually, I've been doing a lot more plein air work on that, and it's kind of helping my studio work as well. So today we're gonna look at temperature in paint, like the warms versus the cools, in order to make that illusion of actual light on your canvas happen. If that makes sense. It will make sense.
Awesome. Well, why don't we go ahead and get this show started so you can take it away?
Fabulous.
It's Art School Live with Eric Rhodes. Now, here's your host, Eric Rhodes.
Kari Stober. Welcome to Art School Live, everyone. I am your guest host this week, Kari Stober. I am the director of virtual events here at Streamline Publishing, and Eric is traveling in New York right now. So I get to be with you all this week, and I'm so excited for today's guest, Jenny Aitken. She's from England, and she is going to be showing us how she makes her paintings sing. Look at the light on this. This next one is my favorite. She was very right when she tells you that it makes you squint. Like, look at the light on that water. It's so amazing. So I'm so excited for what she's going to be sharing with us today. So let's go ahead and let Jenny take it away.
Thank you. So shout at me if anything isn't clear, please. And Kari, you're going to relay questions to me, aren't you?
Yes,
so,
I am.
I've got this little palette here. I am going to try and keep it neat and tidy, but I am a really erratic mixer and generally not very tidy artist. So we'll give it a go. So hopefully you can see the scene that we're doing today. It's a little snow scene, and it's got that light. It's got that contre-jour light, right? And that immediately tells me I need to have warm and cold colors going on. So I'm going to aim for this in that area of light, have some nice Indian yellow kind of notes in the shadows, and then gradually cool out. So without further ado, I've already primed my canvas here. I've just used a neutral gray. Neutral is neither warm nor cool, it possibly slightly warm, okay? So we're going to start with, I keep wanting to point at my painting and you can't see it, but I know that you can see it in the corner there. There we go. So I'll try not to do that. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of this Indian yellow and a little tiny bit of umber. And I'm just going to use a touch of Miracle Medium, actually, that Michael Harding stuff, just to thin it. And what I'm looking at starting with is the trees in the background of this painting underneath the sun. So let's actually go for over there. So hopefully you can see where I'm focusing on in the painting.
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay, so this is a warm color. It's tempting to look at this picture and see all of the blue and all of the gray and all of the blacks in the trees, but I want to have everything that is in the path of this sun here. I want everything to be affected by that eventual white that will go on in there. And if I've got the balance of warm to cold right, this will actually look powerful. It will have an impact as a color as opposed to just being white. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So on we go. Let's put a little, I think we need a touch of red in there as well, just to warm it up a touch more. I did have a little go at this the other day. Some of you might have seen it on my social media. And it was quite a fun little image to do. It also shows how I edit when I paint, how I'm not completely stuck to the picture.
Right. That
so
artistic
it's
license.
important that you don't feel. Someone said to me today, they watched my new plein air videos that have just come out, and they said, basically, Jenny, you're just making it up, aren't you? I said, yeah, that's kind of the point in a way, is that you're looking at this scene and then you're going to give it your best take. You are showing us your unique view, you know.
Right.
And I am all about that light. So stop waffling for a second. I want to start cooling down now that I'm coming out of that direct sun zone. So I'm just adding a little bit of blue into my, not that much blue.
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem with showing you my mixing palette. You'll see all the mistakes I make. These are Michael Harding colors, and they are so strongly pigmented. They're great fun to use, but yeah, sometimes if you get the wrong balance, everything will go that color, you know. You lose the nuance. Right? So I'm using just this little size 5 rosemary filbert here, an ivory filbert. And I'm keeping my brushwork really loose because I like thinking of the painting as like a bit of a cake mix. Just to like get that cake mix on, and then the icing and the detail come later. Does that make sense?
I've never heard of anyone describe it quite like that before. That's so fun.
Well, it kind of makes sense to me, you know. If you start putting the icing on, you can extend this metaphor. If you start putting the icing on too soon, then it's just going to look rubbish at the end, you know. If that cake is not ready, that icing's not going to do its job. So that's the whole idea. I'm kind of speeding ahead here, but all I have done is add ultramarine into my mix as I come further away from the sun. And you can already start to see as I add those blues that I've mixed into that Indian yellow, they are making this look brighter. All right, some triage over there. Very much just scrubbing it in, because what I like to do is build up layers. So I'm having all this thin color here. This will contrast really nicely with the opaque paint shortly. Okay, there's all my blues on. And again, nice blue, that's a wall there that I'm putting on. Nice blue shadow until it gets in towards the light. Then we're going to add a bit of red in. Maybe not that much. There we go. So the dark becomes warmer. There we go. So it's like the sun's just radiating out. Yeah. Okay, let's just whack a little stick in here because that's where it is. And maybe some of these nice darks here, little bit of blue and umber. Let's get them in already. So I can lay my thick, cool, snowy color over this shortly. Let's raise that a bit. Nice vertical cutting through our horizontal planes. And then perhaps in that middle bit, we're going to put a little bit of warmth into the shadow. Again, the sun is here, so we can make the dark subservient to it. It's all about where we're stood. We're trying to get an illusion of us being stood in this place. So if we can see that this is starting to warm up and actually lighten a bit, I don't know why I put that stick there, that's not staying, then it will help that illusion of strong light. All right, let's go in and start just building in some of this light here. Perhaps we want a little bit more detail, slightly rushed through there. Touch more warmth up here. Not going to be there.
You know, this whole time I thought you had a double-ended paintbrush, and I thought that was so cool. I just realized that's just the
That would be cool, wouldn't it? That's a marketable idea.
Right?
I think so. Right. So as I'm just staring at this, it's obviously going to be quite a quick demo, but I do paint quickly. All I'm doing is looking out for what should be warm, what should be cool, what should be dark, what should be light, and what should be in the middle, and what should be to one side. It's a constant, I've randomly started mixing on my other palette here that you can't see. I should stop that now. Just want to bring that wall down. So I'm always thinking temperature, composition, and values, dark or light. Right, let's go up to this sun. Okay, let's start off with a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white. So it's the first time I've used white. I just wanted to get on all those kind of transparent colors there, nice and thin. And let's whack on. So it really stands out because it's the only opaque color on there, yeah? Whack on an area of light for the sun. And then we're just going to come out of that. So we will slightly darken it with a touch of Indian yellow. Perhaps a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of that evil scarlet.
Evil scarlet?
White. Well, it's great, isn't it? It's just, watch, I'll get this tiny little bit. Boom. It's a very, very strong scarlet. Yes. So you just have to control it. Okay, so I've added in a bit. You can see the colors starting to dull down. At some point, that sun ceases to have such a strong effect. Not yet. Let's cut into those trees and give us a sense of a background. A few little sky holes to this tree idea here. Just don't forget, you can always add in more detail later. All right, and then let's take a little bit of ultramarine there and pop that in. Touch of red just to balance it because we're gradually going to cool it down. We don't want it to go green, we just want it to cool as it comes away from the sun. On that goes. And there, here we go. We're going to cut this thing out here. I'm not sure what that tree is. And then keep going, cooling it down just a little bit further. So, you know, in a way, my photograph that I've got here is it's set up for this. I've obviously picked it for this demo to make it obvious But even when you're outside, if you keep in mind that wherever the light is, you want warm. Everything is warm. And when you head out, that's where it starts to get cooler. If you keep that in mind, you'll always get the effect of the sun, even if your painting might not look exactly like the place. You know, let's get a little bit more white in there because I'm going a touch too dark in the sky. That's better. That's better.
So if you wanted to warm it up again, would you still use that same pile or would you make a new one?
I'd probably make a new one now because I'd want it to be clean and warm, depending on where it was going to be. You know, if I wanted just a warm gray, I can absolutely use this. So let's do that right now. Let's just make a nice warm gray for the snow in front. So let me just get a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow. What's making it gray is mixing it in with that blue, yeah? And then a bit of white. And there we go. We've got a nice warm gray, which is just about right for the snow underneath over here.
I come from a pastel background, so mixing colors is a bit of a challenge for me. So I always like to see how artists approach that.
Yeah, it's so I did pastel as well, but then I spent quite a lot of time doing acrylics, and I think my mixing into the same space here, you know, I use it for kind of harmony on the painting, but it's definitely left over from just mixing a lot of acrylic color so that I'm in charge of what's going on. And yeah, it's fun. So there's my warm snow. Okay, now same as the sky. As we come out, let's get a touch more yellow in there actually, since I can see it in the photograph. There's some lovely highlights on that snow. There we go. Now we're going to start cooling down again because we're looking in the shadows. So first of all, let's go with a little bit of blue and red just to come into a bit more. It's just under here. There's a bit of shadow on the snow, but it's still in this path of direct sun, right? Yeah, maybe some of that's up there too. Let's see. That's a touch around there. And then we're going to go blue. So we're going to cool down, stick in a whole load of ultramarine. And you're probably noticing my brush going up. I'm actually just checking that I'm in the right ballpark against the photograph itself.
Okay.
So that's it's a really useful way for checking your, the strength of your tone, the strength of your saturation of color. Often we saturate too much in paintings and you kind of lose control of the lighting because of that. There's a nice blue. Now, perhaps a touch of yellow in there, just because I can see it. I think I can see it. More of a slightly yellowy, cool blue gray up here as this comes out the back. Slightly further away. We don't want it drawing the eye too much. No. Not sure why I left this space. Let's just whack in some trees. Honestly, I will just forget areas while I'm doing a demo. Just think, oh, I've left a whole great big gap there. So nice, scratchy. Bingo those trees, whatever's going on over there. Whilst I'm at it, actually, some of that color, that slightly colder color, looks quite good. Went a bit purple there. Whatever. There we go. Put some down there. I like that. That's showing up my whole temperature thing a little bit more clearly. That's fun. Look at that. Okay. Right. Carry on with the snow. So a bit more blue in there, further away from the sun. And nice, because it's snow, you know, paste it over like butter. We used that thin, inky paint earlier. Now we're using it like butter. And that is just oil paint all over, isn't it? I love the different textures that you can get with it. It's I do like acrylics, I like gouache, but every time for me, it's oils have just got everything I need. Let's get a touch more blue up there. There we go. What are we doing? We definitely want to put that light in before this demo is speedily over. This snowy color here on this bit, we really want to butter that on. It's going to give us a sense of kind of the foreground, but we also want it a stronger, slightly stronger blue, so the color makes this, it just stands out. Yeah, more blue, more blue.
So someone noticed it doesn't look like you're cleaning your brush off in between color mixes. How do you keep it from getting muddy?
So just down here.
Ah, there we go.
I have a little, so I'm just wiping it off. And then I have a little, out of shot, I have a big tub of solvent, odor-free solvent. I didn't think you needed to see that in shot, but that's what I'm doing. And then I come back. I get very obsessed with using the same brush. It's so I'm just using this filbert all the way through at the moment. Okay, so buttering on, my brush strokes have changed. On that goes. There. Now the snow in the middle, same rule, just pink it up a bit, warm it up a bit, because that is in the path of the sun. And you might think, you know, well, I can't see that in the photo, but we're not trying to copy the photo. We're trying to get a sense of light as it was on that day. And no camera can capture that, you know.
Right.
All right, some of that lovely color. Actually, if I add a touch more white, maybe a little bit of yellow, that can go into the background. We're just gonna lighten that snow off there a touch. I'm still not sure why that little lump was allowed to stay, but I'm not going to faff around in this very brief demo. It's not going to be the best painting, but hopefully it will show you how I get that light, because this is exactly how the sparkle on the sea, the sunsets, the whatever it is else I do, it's about having the warmth versus the cool. Okay. Let's get my lovely 𝗏𝗲𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗀 here. I'm going to get a whole load of clean white, which I've run out on here, and a little touch of yellow, just a little bit. And we're going to just whack it on like that. And then eat it out slightly, not too much blending, just nice kind of light brushwork, just to make sure it's nice and loose, just better for movement in your paintings. So it's looking like light, isn't it? Well, it is from my angle. There's a nice feel of sunlight on that snow. And actually, if we take a bit, just darken that down and keep that nice and thick with my bristly brush here, let's now add on some highlights. Oh, maybe this is why I kept the little, yeah, that's okay, isn't it? Oh, I wish you all had microphones. It's a funny thing. I'm like, is anyone there?
We are here. We are all enthralled and just watching every brushstroke.
So there, you've got the warmth that's coming. By starting off with that warm and then cooling it with blue, you make grays, right? And as you go out, you add more blue. It cools down, and it looks like the sun is having an effect. And so it gives that power, that blob of titanium white there, it gives it power and impact in your painting. So it's everything, really, temperature.
Right.
Where should I put, let's put it there. There we go. Funny 3 little things. Okay, so now just to, I don't know where I am with time here, but
you are doing good. Let me look here because I've lost track of time as well. We've got 10, 20, like 25 minutes.
do you know the thing I'm worst at is doing things too fast. I'm really slowing down now, guys. Right. I want to get some trees in. Let's get some detail in. Let's finish this thing off. So I'll get some blue, get a little bit of umber, touch of white. Maybe we don't want it too dark. And I've got this, I don't know what it is. It's a round brush, size 1. I often use a rigger for this kind of thing, but I'm quite enjoying using bigger, chunkier brushes for the lines at the moment. So what I don't want to do with this very dark purpley tone here is go in with detail right in the middle. That's going to have to be warm. But over here, it'll be great. So let's just get a better tree idea in. I don't want to take out all of my nice thin background. I just want to put some depth in, a little bit of mid-ground there. Perhaps darken that a touch there. So this is going in with the details, except still keeping it nice and loose and staying very aware of what colors, what temperature colors can go in the area you're working in. Because this is often when people fall down, you start painting what you see because you've got a small drawing brush in your hands, like certain death. So just watch yourself. Stay in control. All right, let's make that a little grayer for the background and a little cooler. Just grab some white there. And because my mix is quite purple, let's get a bit of green, mix that in. Got a bit more green down there. That's better. Okay. And we just want to break up some of this stuff over here where I got a bit busy with the snow. So any detail off to the left or the right or down here, we don't want that singing too much. It's all got to be over here.
Right.
It's like that. It's a great kind of allegory, isn't there, of the stage, like your painting is a stage.
Mm-hmm.
If everything has the same importance on your stage, if every actor, it's a bit cold for that, has that same level of focus, then there's no focus. Nothing stands out because everything's standing out, and that's chaos. So I try and avoid that. Try and have your strong focal point, and then let everything else just die back. Just scribble it on and forget about it. Okay, let's go in over here then. So I've just washed that brush off, wiped it down, and I'm going to go back into my grey here, my nice warm grey. Get a bit of Indian yellow. What does that look like? I think we need it a bit darker than that. Bit of umber, bit of red, just a slightly warm dark, and then perhaps just introduce a little bit of shadow in the light zone. So there's actually a nice little wall there. Maybe I can get away with that. Don't overdo it, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you all say that to yourselves?
Not enough for
painting. All right, and just perhaps a little bit darker, but keeping it warm. I need some kind of warm blacks. Things that look dark on the canvas, but actually on the palette are just are not. Color is always relative to what it's next to, isn't it? So.
Right, yeah. This is
I can't.
amazing.
Oh, well, that's good. Because when you're painting, you can't really see whether it's working. So something I always say to people, actually, so I'm stood right here at the canvas. Normally, once I've got the paint on, I start painting from the back. I think of it as just, that's what you need to do. Let's put a bit of sunlight over there, just highlighting. Because the problems that you see whilst you're this close to your canvas are almost irrelevant. The problems that you see 10 feet away, they're the ones you need to deal with. And I can't really judge it, you know, so I'm just doing my best. A little bit of red. Getting a bit faffy with the brush. So
what does that mean? That's a new word for me.
Oh, do you know I keep using that in your lovely country? I have to remember that's not one of your words. So
well, I like learning new words. So what does it mean?
It means don't get too busy. Don't worry at it. Don't get too fussy.
Okay, I like that.
But like faffing, you can faff in any area of life, you know. It's such an English word, which I didn't realize until recently when I pulled it out in the middle of a workshop in France. And all these people look back at me like, what did you just say? Anyway, right, let's have a look. Do you know what? I'm going to look at it on the screen. That really helps. Okay. Why not finish off this dark? Let's actually finish the painting. So let's get a nice red, get a bit more green up there, a reddish dark here in the middle. All these areas that you think, oh, it doesn't make any difference, it's just dark, you know, the difference between that red dark there and then a very cold dark. So if I whack a bit of blue and a bit more of that green in there, it just tells you what the sun is doing. That's right in the middle of my painting. That's so funny. It's bothered me all the way through and I've let it stay there. I know. Let's go back. Get a little bit of medium on my brush and a little bit of warmth and just highlight this so that it starts to stand out more. And this can get a little bit lost. So the sun's really hitting there, you know, we want it to sing, maybe even more. You have the look back at that screen again. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just lifts it, doesn't it? And I mean, my main reason for doing that is actually just reduce that. I don't want it to just be flat in the middle. A little bit of a bump is okay, you know. All right, let's have a look. Do we need something I always love to put in my paintings is noise. And I think it adds to the atmosphere and therefore it adds to the sense of real lighting. So I'm going to get on a rigger brush here. I've got a size 1 rigger. And there was a nice lot of medium on my rigger. So it's nice and inky. A little bit of a tinted warm white there. And I'm really just going to put a few little dots. Perhaps a touch more yellow in there for those bits. There's not a lot of kind of rhyme or reason to it. It's just giving us some atmospheric noise. Whoop, maybe not that. Maybe a bit much there. You get a bit carried away. I'm back over there with my, perhaps actually a nice clean filbert. Some of that Indian yellow. And let's just make that blob stand out a bit more. Ooh, A bit of grey got into my nice clean white then. And when you're painting sunlight, you do have to be a bit fussy when it comes to the light. If any grey gets in, which is up in my white up here, messy like, it'll make it just look dull. It won't look like light. It's a touch more of that Indian yellow. I just want it to be a bit more. There we go.
Oh, wow.
And also there. There we go.
That just popped right out there.
Perhaps a bit, some lesser snow, just giving us a sense of how thick it is. Very interesting painting whilst looking at the screen every now and again. I'm like, oh, okay, that's helping me. Just around there. Just making it a bit less wall-like.
So someone is asking, can you highlight your darks the same way that you highlight your lights?
Yes. So yes, you can. Let's do that. So what I wouldn't do is go in. So if I've got this right, say over here, there's a tree. I've just put in a little bit of Indian yellow and white to highlight the edge of it. Is that what you meant?
I'm not entirely sure what they meant. It just said, can you highlight darks the same way that you highlight lights?
So yes, except that what you have to think about is the contrast. So if I go in with white on a really dark, that's not natural as a highlight. It'll have to be, the highlight will have to be a color. It'll have to be something in accordance with the quality of light of the sun. And it's also, it's not a mirror, it's a tree, or it's a bush, or it's a house. It's not going to reflect the light like snow does, for example, like a really strong answering white. These are slightly tinted, you know, they've got that Indian yellow in. But yeah, so a little bit down, just down a touch when you highlight the shadows. If you were talking about putting in the warmth underneath the sun here, I don't think they will have been actually asking about that, but you have to just, again, keep it relatively dark, not too much white. Otherwise, it won't look like shadow. It'll kind of look wrong. I mean, this is the thing about painting from the back, right? What you need to do is step back all the time and be checking, does this read? Does this read? Does it make sense? You know?
Yeah.
Hopefully that answered something. But feel free to, you know, send me an email or on Instagram, and I will answer any questions you have. Okay, I want to soften this since I've got time. One day I will do one of these things and I will not rush.
I think and I don't think that you're rushing. I think you've just become very fast at painting, but I feel like that's
maybe,
in a sense, that's also good because then you don't get caught up in so many details. That's what I tend to do. I end up overworking everything because I just spend too much time on it. But some of the ones that I've like had to rush through ended up being looser and just feeling better.
You know, I did years and years of demos, kind of weekly type demos to little art groups. And I swear that was where my skill that's where I got better. So going outside, painting plein air, that is where I learn and my painting skill gets better. And also demonstrating, because you just stop worrying about the things that don't matter. Right. You're thinking about the things that I want to leave you with, which is, how does the light work? What makes it work? What's a good composition? You know, so without copying. Can we have a bird? I love birds. Let's just stick a couple of, like, you know, if we were in Colorado, it would be eagles, but we're not, so it's crows.
Well, we have a lot of ravens here too, so.
Okay, ravens are really intelligent birds.
Yes, they are.
Okay, well, I can see over here, this is a little bit, I'm going to break this up here. Let's get a bit of blue, run out with off on my palette there. That's a nice bit of doesn't want to stand out too much because it doesn't really matter, this stuff over here. But I kind of think if I have a touch of snow breaking up that lot over there, it'll be a nice little bit of movement in the corner. And over here. So it might not be exactly like the photo, but it's got the sense of the light in the photo. It's got the sense of the place.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, is what I want. That's it's not going to be like an accurate representation.
Well,
Even when I do commissions, people tend to not notice that little path didn't go that way, it went this way, or whatever it is, you know. It's
yeah, you're not taking a photo. You're not trying to make a photocopy of something. You're making your artistic representation of that thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm adding in all this. I've got to tell you, I'm faffing now.
Well,
there you go. I want everyone in the US who's watching, just find a way to use that word tomorrow.
Oh, I will 100% be doing that.
Right, so looking at my painting, I can see, if I show you actually the one I did as, this was my 10-minute version. And it was very loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something quite, I love it. I actually love it. It's got a real sense of movement. And you can see that same thing. We're starting from the white, we're coming out yellow, gold, and then everything starts to get cooler, darker. And that's all you need, you know. It's such a simple exercise to do. And it can show you just how minimal the brushwork needs to be, as long as you've got a nice off-center composition. Both of them are slightly off-center. As long as you've got that strong foreground, midground, background, something that's moving your eye through, and you've got the colors, the warmth going out to the cold, then it's going to look like light. That's it. That's all you need. So yeah, what else can I tell you?
No, this was great. You have pulled this together. I can't believe that you were able to make this painting in less than 45 minutes. That's amazing to me. Yeah, so that's our show, everyone. My goodness, she came in like the speed of light right there. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Jenny. We put her website in the chat so that you guys can check out her website. She's got a book. She's got videos on there. She does workshops. Be sure to check her out because she is awesome and you are going to want to learn from her so that you can create these beautiful paintings. I have never wanted to paint snow more than I do right now.
Oh, great.
I am so excited for it to snow now so that I can go take some amazing pictures and start painting snow. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you're in the right place for it.
Definitely. It doesn't stick around very long, but we do get a lot of it.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for watching. We do have a gift for you for watching today, our 97 Art Secrets. You are going to want to check that out. That is at 97artsecrets.com/ASL. Lots of great information in there. And if you like, you like snow, but if you want to escape from the snow and paint some nice water scenes, we do have Winter Art Escape coming up, and I think we have a promo video for that. Let's check that.
Every February, it happens. Gray skies, the freezing winds, blowing snow, the endless shoveling, power outages, and closed airports. Winter doesn't just chill your bones, it drains your inspiration. But what if instead of scraping ice, you were setting up your easel under the warm sun? What if, instead of gray, you were surrounded by color? This February, join us for Eric Rhodes' second Winter Art Escapes Artist Retreat for a week of painting in the sunshine of Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia. Paint the breathtaking coastal marshes, the roaring ocean, historic Victorian homes and town squares, trees dripping with Spanish moss and golden sunsets. With every detail handled, your room, your meals, your painting agenda, all you have to do is show up, paint, and connect. You deserve a solid week of painting and making friends. Spots are limited to just 100 artists, and they're filling fast. Don't spend another February stuck indoors. Escape winter. Recharge. Paint with us at Winter Art Escape.
Well, I just realized that was a terrible promo to play after we just had so much fun painting snow. It is a lot of fun. I think there are only 40 seats left, so be sure to check that out if you do want to go paint some nice ocean scenes. And be sure to check out Jenny's website before you do, because she's got some videos on how to paint some sparkly water scenes. Thank you guys all so much for watching today. Be sure to follow us on YouTube so that you get, and subscribe so that you get notified when we go live. You can find that there. And then you can also follow Eric on Instagram. He's at Eric Rhodes. Thank you all so much. It was so much fun today. And tomorrow we have Nigel 𝗏𝗏𝗏, I think is how you say his name. He is going to be joining us tomorrow to paint some gouache. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Be inspired like I am to go paint some snow. Thank you, Jenny. And we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye.